And interesting stuff. Now, we know Colorado, coached by Deion Sanders. Big game against Nebraska tomorrow. Wow. That's going to be a good one. Of course, Nebraska has the quarterback they call Baby Mahomes. Is that what they call him? Baby Mahomes? Raiola is his last. What's his first name, Rob G? Dylan Raiola. Yeah. Nice. Looks just like Mahomes and tries to look just like Mahomes. But good player. But Nebraska hasn't had a winning season in like 7 years. Matt Rule, of course, the coach there now. But I kind of think they'll beat Colorado. And Colorado, Deion, of course, always talking, willing to talk. And they've got the Travis Hunter two-way player, great wide receiver, great cornerback. A lot of people talking about him maybe even winning the Heisman. And Deion, who knows a little something about going both ways in the NFL, of course, probably the greatest defensive cornerback ever, and also played a little bit. He didn't really go both ways, but played, a little bit of wide receiver in the NFL. Here's what he said about Travis's chances of playing both ways at the next level.
Former NFL players sit on these type of platforms and all the kind of platforms that give them a voice now. Sit up there and say what this man can't do at the next level.
Right.
How stupid is that?
Yeah.
How can you say what a person can't do just because you can't fathom it? Yeah. No one has seen a guy go both ways like he goes.
Sure.
And you say, he can't do that. Yes, he can. That's what he does. That's all he knows.
Yeah.
So how are you going to tell a man what he can't do? And the scouts ask me every day, what is he? I say he's a football player. If you put him on offense in the NFL and you don't have him on defense, you're going to look like a fool because he's going to be your best defensive player not playing. And the same thing vice versa. So the best thing for you to do is draft him to whatever and have a package ready for him on the opposing side.
All right, you heard it. Now, Rob G, was it The Athletic that had an article about this?
It was CBS Sports. Right after these comments came out, which were actually less than 48 hours ago, CBS Sports caught up with a few anonymous NFL personnel individuals, and they asked them about whether or not.
Now, these are executives, like
executives,
talent.
Personnel people was how they described it. And they spoke to two of them. One of them says, quote, about the idea of Travis Hunter playing both ways in the NFL. There's no way at his size and his body frame that he could play 17 games in the NFL at over 100 snaps a game and really maintain that level of performance. Maybe there's someone that dabbles into something like he's a full-time receiver and then a part-time nickel on defense. Another scout who actually was a little bit more optimistic said this. I know several scouts of that same opinion that he's a better receiver prospect than he is a corner. When I watched him this summer, I was thinking receiver over corner. And I think it's ultimately going to come down to where he wants to play, but I think he can play both or play either.
Well, Rob, he's listed at 6'1", 185. Now, Rob G doesn't think he's 6'1". He thinks he's more like 5'10". Either way, Rob, we see ex-cornerbacks. We used to see them all the time at ESPN. We see them at FS1. These dudes are not tall. They're not that big. Like, some of them I'm bigger than. You've seen that too, Rob. And
I know, it's amazing sometimes.
Yeah, it really is. You're like, my goodness, how this dude play in the NFL.
Yep.
But their speed and, a lot of corners aren't great tacklers. Even Deion wasn't a great tackler. So they're out there for their speed and to cover guys. But, Rob, what do you think of his chances of playing both ways in the NFL?
Slim to none. I just think you have too many people who just aren't going to be open to it. It's almost like the Showhey, Chris. Like, a lot of people just were not that gung-ho about it either until, the guy wound up doing it. And the only way you could get him was he went to the Angels and they were going to allow him to do it and obviously excelled. I think the NFL's tougher playing that many snaps on both sides of the ball, a little bit different. Remember, like it used to be done. We see it in high school, right? Guys play the best athletes. They play both ways.
Yeah, but that's so.
But that's that's what I'm saying. But it's 8 games, Chris, and it's not the same kind of thing.
And if you're an NFL prospect, you're so much better. You know what I mean?
No, right.
General,
that's what I'm saying. I just don't think that it's going to happen. I really don't.
Yeah, I mean, Deion, like I said, did it a little bit. Remember Roy Green? He in the 80s, he did it for St. Louis Cardinals a little bit. I agree with you that, I mean, can you do it and be, I don't think somebody can be great at both, Rob. And if I'm Travis Hunter, I get that he wants to try, and I respect that. But I would think, Rob, if he focuses on one, and I do like him more as a receiver. I mean, cornerback is fine too. I mean, he's a top prospect at either position, but I think he's a better receiver. He obviously has great hands. The catch he made a couple of weeks, or was it last week, against North Dakota State was phenomenal. I don't care that you're playing a Division I AA school. That was a great catch with the dude draped all over him, and really, I thought it was pass interference, clearly. So I think he's probably a better receiver prospect. But if I'm Travis Hunter, Rob, I would rather be awesome at one position than just solid at both. And I think it's going to be incredibly difficult for somebody to play in the NFL and be like all pro level or even Pro Bowl level, consistent Pro Bowl, perennial Pro Bowl level at both. I think that would be incredibly difficult to do just physically and even mentally.
Yeah, I do think that trying to be great at both, Chris, is the issue. And why not?
Because you want to be great, right?
Why not make a career and be great at the one thing you do the best, or the one thing that you think you can excel? Because the only way, and I know it's different than Showhey, but Chris, if he was a C pitcher, he wouldn't be doing it. You know what I mean? Like he wouldn't be doing it.
He probably, even if he had done it early, like the last few years, now he's hurt, you know, as far as pitching, he probably would be done as a pitcher. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, even if they had let him do it his first few years, he gets hurt, has Tommy John, and now he did have Tommy John, didn't he? Showhey?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he, you know, they probably wouldn't be thinking of him as a pitcher anymore, Rob. They probably just be saying you're going to hit, especially the season he's had. Right. So, yeah, Deion makes a good point. I mean, we didn't think it was possible to do what Showhey is doing, and he's done it. So, but look, as great as Travis Hunter is, I don't, and this is no insult, Rob, I don't think he's Deion Sanders. Like, that level, Deion Sanders is arguably the greatest athlete in American history, arguably. And I don't think this kid is that, as great as he is. So, and Deion didn't do it both ways full time. So, I don't know. Rob G, where you at on this?
Yeah, I think it's unreasonable to expect him to be able to play both ways in the NFL. And especially when it's not like we haven't seen this even recently in college. You know, Miles Jack at UCLA played linebacker and running back. Chris Gamble at Ohio State played receiver and corner. Charles Woodson won the Heisman. Right?
Right.
And then even with Travis Hunter specifically, not only is it, you know, the skill level of being able to play at the highest level, both offense and defense, just being out there for 100+ snaps, the risk of injury is much higher. Right. So even last year, his first year playing major college football, because, you know, when he played Jackson State, it wasn't the greatest athletes, no disrespect to them. He missed a month with the lacerated kidney.
Right. So it was a cheap shot, but still.
Are we sure you're going to be able to make it through an entire season playing 130 snaps a game? I just don't think it's physically, you know, possible.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. If somebody wants to give him a try at it, fine. But look, the NFL, and guys see this at every position. I mean, Division I football at the top level is incredible. And then you weed out the guys in that and take the ultra elite, and that's what the next level is. Guys always talk about the speed in the NFL, the size in the NFL. It's not what he's facing right now. It's not. It's not even close. And so you're talking about the fastest guys, the strongest guys, the most skilled guys at the next level. And to think he's going to play the entire game going both ways and be better than the defensive backs who are just focusing on that, and better than the receivers who are just focusing on that, that's a lot to ask. That is a lot to ask.
It is. And I understand, Chris. You want to do something, and Deion's pushing for his guy, and because he's doing it in college. Right. Not that many people are doing anything like that. So I get all that. But it's a tall order. And then Deion is like, well, people up there saying what he can't do or whatever. But that's what that's where the job of being an analyst. Deion was an analyst.
And
Chris,
we've never seen it. It's not like
you know what I mean, right?
Out of their minds. Why? There's a reason people don't do it.
Right.
These are the best athletes in the world, and nobody does it.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, he's making it like, oh, how can they say that? They're saying what another man can do. Well, that's what they ask us. Right. Do we think you could do it? Right?
Absolutely.
You can disagree with their opinion, but you can't rip on them for not thinking it could be done.
Right.